Welcome back to Retro Podcast. This is the episode to end the year. Today we have a very special guest, and that is Santa Claus, all the way from the North Pole.
Oh, hello, Ben. What an honor to be on your podcast.
Santa, it's great to see you.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
Now, did you come from the North Pole, or were you on vacation in Hawaii?
Oh, no. This is the busiest time of year. I have just been busy. And what a year it has been at the North Pole. Things are changing like crazy. The elves want to unionize. I didn't even know what a union did. I had to Google it. Oh my goodness. And we had to negotiate healthcare and HSAs and all kinds of things. What a year. I just couldn't even believe all the things that are involved in this. Mental health days, paternity, maternity days, daycare facilities at the toy factory. It's crazy, Ben, I tell you.
And now, a lot of places went on strike this year. I mean, it wasn't just the writers and the actors strike that happened. There was also a car strike to go on. Did the North Pole go on strike by any chance, or not yet?
Well, lo and behold, you have to pay workers. I had no idea. So when they came to me and said they wanted actual money, I guess I had to pay them. So then that cut into my profits then. So we're working twice as hard up here on the North Pole. It is quite a bit. But to deal with my stress, I am in therapy and I am doing CrossFit and on a Peloton. The missus thinks I look pretty good.
And how is Mrs. Claus, if I'm allowed to ask?
She's wonderful. She's very busy. She's very busy this time of year. She's looking forward to our vacation in Belize. I don't even know where that is. I had to Google that, Ben. She's been doing Peloton with me. She's a delicious little candy cane, let me tell you.
And now, a lot of films and books portray North Pole very differently. Now, I just want to get to the real version. Like, what does North Pole look like in real life?
It is very cold, Ben. Very cold.
Imagine.
Layers. All those things when you see elves in tights on TV, don't believe the hype, as the kids say. Oh my goodness. You must have layers. That wind will go right through you. Some wind has been even known to blow an elf right off the North Pole, Ben. I tell you, it's tough up here. We're very busy. It's very hard living up here.
Well, Santa, off topic, but uh, either next year or the year after, Retro Podcast is going to be doing some animated short films. And so, if you would like to tell a story about what the North Pole really looks like in real life, that it's not similar to film and TV like Rudolph, and you're telling your side of the story like what the North Pole looks like in real life, we could put that into an animation short for next year.
I like that idea. Let's get the truth out there. Absolutely. No more of this mamby-pamby fairy tale Pollyanna view of the North Pole. We are hardworking up here, Ben, and it's very cold. Did I mention that? It's
Yes, you
cold
did.
up here, Ben.
And how do you get around the world in one night?
3 letters. GPS. It's made my job so much easier. I love it. I have an iPad. I know where I'm going. It's wonderful. And I also have advanced negotiations with the big four: USPS, FedEx, UPS. I have them all. Amazon, they're right there with me. I can get my big packages delivered early and just leave them to the porch pirates. It's wonderful.
So you have a really good relationship with Amazon UPS then.
Absolutely. Jeff Bezos and I have had a handshake deal for years. Absolutely. The government's very good. We work well with the UPS and the FedEx. I had to negotiate a little bit with them because they want to mess with Santa's money, but it's okay. We're all right. We're doing all right. We've reached a very good agreement and we're going well with advanced notices to people to put packages on to make advanced deliveries. It's quite wonderful. It's made my job a lot less stressful. I don't need NORAD anymore and those jerks. All I need is a GPS and a good iPad. It's wonderful.
Well, since Jeff Bezos did make that rocket that went up into space 2 years ago, uh, does Jeff have any plans with doing any rockets to your sleigh by any chance, or are
Let's
you still doing
say,
reindeer?
let's just say, I'll put my magic sleigh against his stupid rocket ship any day. Bring it on, Bezos. Bring it on.
And a quick question about the reindeer: is Rudolph real?
Oh, the reindeer. Let's talk about those reindeer. They're impossible. I love the reindeer, but they all have cell phones and they're all social media sensations. I mean, Donner and Blitzen are in a partnership. I think Vixen is non-binary. I just don't even know what's happening anymore. And then Blitzen is on Tinder. I talked to him the other day and I said, Blitzen, what are you doing on Tinder? I thought Tinder was made to start a fire. You know what he said to me in front of all the reindeer? He said to me, old man, Tinder is meant to start a fire, but you wouldn't know what that means. And then they all laughed at me. I have no idea. I still don't know what that means.
How
Oh,
is it
that listen. And
possible for a reindeer to use a smartphone? Because a reindeer has hooves. They don't have
let me
fingers.
magic, Ben. Come on. We
Oh,
have
fair enough.
magic. And Rudolph is now a bona fide influencer. He's always going live, doing tutorials. I told him the other day, he came to me and said his sponsors want to go live on the big night. I said, not unless you cut me in on the deal, Rudolph. Don't mess with Santa's money. So we'll see. That greedy Rudolph.
And how do the reindeer fly? Is it like magic or
Well, that magic, a lot of kale and a lot of Red Bull. That's it. You know,
Red
they're
Bull?
ri- they're ridiculous. They just do their own thing. That's what their new demands are. Lots of kale, avocado toast, and Red Bull. Who knows? I never knew. I never know. They're
I
just
have
following these TikTok trends.
I have no idea reindeer drink Red Bull.
Oh, all the time. It gives them wings. Don't you know the brand works? And they have a TikTok endorsement deal with them, of course.
So you're telling me that when reindeer drink this special Red Bull, they grow wings. So it's almost like half Pegasus, half reindeer pulling the
They've worked it
sleigh.
out. You know what? To know, you'll have to go to their TikTok page and look it up. They're always going live. That's the secret. It's sponsored by Red Bull. So that's how they're making that money, which they haven't cut me in on that deal either. Don't mess with Santa's money. Let me tell you.
Well, I'm gonna have to ask a friend if they could show me the video because I don't have TikTok, sadly.
Neither do I. But they all do. And they're now all influencers, always doing tutorials on how to fly, how to give the best gift. Rudolph has how to make his nose more red, appear more red on camera. I tell you, it's just a racket.
Now, Santa, you've been around for a very, very long time, and you have lived through the Renaissance, you've lived through the Black Plague, you've lived through Civil War, World War II, and
True, yes.
even the Korean War, and
Oh, yes.
of course the COVID pandemic, which thank God the pandemic ended this year. You've
Oh,
lived through a lot of entire
have you
history,
ever,
even 9/11, of course. Now, what
and
inspired you to become Santa?
well, I'm telling you, that pandemic, have you ever flown with a magic sleigh in a mask? Oh, in the atmosphere? It's awful. But anyway, what inspired me to become Santa? Hmm. Well, money. I'm a big time toy CEO. I have a lot of things on my plate. Yes, the smiles and the love of children around the world is wonderful, but I need to make money. I have a nest egg to protect. The missus wants to go to Belize. I don't even know where Belize is. I have to do that. Yes, don't mess with Santa's money. I have a lot of things to do.
Very good. And for people who want to go into the toy business, what is the best advice that you would pass on to them?
Best advice for that, Ben. Go into any business except the toy business. Don't go into competition with Santa. Come on. Don't compete against me. Do you remember Toys R Us? Jeffrey the giraffe? Who do you think got him canceled?
Oh, wait, you were the one that got him canceled?
I won't say anything, but just say you haven't heard from Jeffrey once he went into competition with Santa. Children's Palace? You know what? North Pole acquisitions went into that building, bought the building, evicted Children's Palace. No more competition. Do not go into business against Santa. That's my advice for any up and coming toy entrepreneurs. We know what we're doing up at the North Pole. Now I have jolly elves with a 4-day work week. They're working hard. Yes, we've negotiated that. I will put my tour force against anyone right now.
And when you talk about these elves, that they're not the traditional colorful elves that wear the tight pants and the not like you would see in Rudolph or Fred Claus, but and then you also said that it's very, very cold up the North Pole, like it's freezing and you have to wear layers and layers and layers. Now, these elves, I could definitely see them wearing tons of layers working at the North Pole. Now, do they have pointy ears? And are they small like elves or?
Well, it's 2020. It's almost 2024, Ben. My goodness, we have a diverse set of elves. We have elves of every size, shape. People don't. Some of our elves have different round ears. Some of our elves have more pointy ears. Some of our elves have pointy feet. Some of our elves more have rounded feet. We have all kinds of different elves. It's a big tent. All are welcome in our under our umbrella. That's how we look at it.
Got it. And is the factory made out of bricks? Is it like an old-fashioned factory, or is it like...
We have special thermodynamic material that I've built the toy factory and our domiciles out of. I can't tell you very much more about that. It's a secret. Actually, it was made by Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk.
Oh, so they helped out with it.
They work for me as well.
Got it. And Santa, we are coming to the end of the interview. And
really?
What was your time flies when you're having fun. What was your favorite retro product growing up in the 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Let's think here. Let's think. Well, today's this generation, they're in front of their consoles. They love the video game consoles, the Xboxes and the PlayStations. But, as the kids say, an old school guy like myself, I say, get a bat and get a ball and get outside, because for God's sake, did you see the Shohei Ohtani contract for the Dodgers? $700 million. Play baseball, and for God's sake, that's what you need to do. Don't go into business like me and wreck your heart and gain weight. Play baseball. $700 million. That's what you need to do. Get a ball and a bat. Play baseball.
Well, Santa, thank you for coming on today's podcast. I assume you flew your sleigh out to the studio?
We did a test drive for the big night. We go short distances and then I go back. It's a long trip. It's a worldwide trip. It takes a lot of stamina. So it's like a marathoner. You go about 4 miles and then you come back and then you extend your trip. So this is our longest trip so far this season. If I can keep the reindeer off their cell phones for the trip back, we shouldn't have very much of a problem.
And
those
one question about the sleigh is the sleigh, like, is it a traditional like horse-drawn sleigh like you would see in a painting, or is it had some upgrades over the years?
It is tripped out, as the kids say. I have cup holders. I have Sirius FM radio in there. I'm all set. I have wonderful heated seats for when it gets cold in the atmosphere. I actually have a little windscreen on it. It's a very comfortable sleigh if you have to be in there for about the 24-hour period, going very, very fast in a cold, cold environment. It's very comfortable. Again, my friend Jeff Bezos came in and did some upgrades on my seats. So we're doing very well this year. I'm very confident that we're going to do very well this year.
It almost sounds like a car with skis instead of wheels.
No, exactly, but only I can drive it. That's no one gets behind the wheel of the sleigh. It's just, I'm the master of the kingdom. No one else gets to drive it.
Well understood.
Even though that Rudolph thinks he has an endorsement deal with some sort of Porsche to think they can like trick out my sleigh. That Rudolph.
Yep, that Rudolph, all right. Well, Santa, thank you again for coming on today's podcast. And
Ben,
for those watching, make sure you are fast asleep so Santa could come to your house and leave a surprise.
Ben, and I have it on good authority that you are very much on the nice list this year.
I forgot. I was going to ask about that. I was going to ask if I'm on the nice list.
I have it on very good authority. You've been very good this year, young man.
Thank you, Santa. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and to all your listeners on this wonderful podcast, Ben. Thank you for having me.